When they're tied in here, the pubis won't move, and the pubis has to move when we rotate a leg out for Trikonasana. So here it is. I wish I had a way to put it in there and let it move, but I don't. I don't know one. Okay, so Dandasana. Now this is part of what has been confusing for some of you in the pelvis, is that in Dandasana, or any posture for that matter, there's a way that this front part of the pelvis continues its wrap. You see how the ears of the pelvis have this directional forward, and what I find is very useful for people is to, okay,
Do you want me to hold them?
hold the disc.
Hold the thing there?
Yeah, it blocks it, so that's what I
Oh,
know.
you can't see.
Yeah, let's just let it fall out. It's okay. I'm gonna let it
We'll
fall
know
out.
it's there.
So there it is, right? You know where it is. Now, if I were doing Trikonasana, I'm not going to use the legs because it's just too much to handle with my hands. But I'm going to show what happens with the pubic disc when I rotate the left leg out and the right leg in from here. And what I'm doing what I talk to people about is I talk to them, I've taught them about these ischial tuberosities, sits bones, buttock bones, whatever you're comfortable calling them, on which they are sitting. And I've had them find them standing with their two hands planting the tulip bulbs. Huh, huh, right? The buttock bones go, huh. It gives you that heavy, bony ground. Got it? So then we're going to roll. We're going to take a pelvic half and move it in order to turn, this is the left pelvic half out with the left femur simultaneously. And what has to happen at the disc, because you can't, if you do that, that doesn't work. Thank you. That's what I was going to do earlier. Thank you. You guys are so good.
That might help.
Yeah, that helps. That helps a lot. Okay, so this is going to, look, this is a pubis that is in trouble. This is a misaligned pubis, which can happen to people, especially after childbirth, when it can flare open in order to, if there's need for the head to get through the birth canal. So it can happen, and if you know that there's some mobility on the sides, a little slippiness, it can help it to come back. It might heal in tight, you know? So it's got to just find this little slippiness without yanking on it and ripping it again. Tricky. Tricky is a pubic disc injury. All right, so this pelvic half, you have to watch closely because the movement is not huge, but it's very big in its effect. This pelvic half, right one, will go forward and turn. Do you see the forward? It's not huge. And as it's going, this is why it's often good to turn both legs simultaneously. While it's going, the back leg is going, and there's an articulation at the disc. If there's no articulation at the disc, you get this kind of thing. And then you get a rotation in the hip socket and a rotation in the hip socket, which is stressful to the hip socket when you start to bring forces through it. So if you can roll the whole thing together, I'm not worried about the disc now. If you can roll the whole thing together, this will turn out as this rotates out and they're moving together. So in my body, if I do that, what I have is, I have this. I found the buttock bones. Often you'll have to adjust people from doing this, right? Or you tell them to take the buttock bones down and they do this, right? It's and it's that low, bony, into the earth. So now I'm going to turn, to articulate the disc, the buttock bone on this side. See me start? Everything's going together. I can feel this left pelvic half start to move on the disc. See what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm moving them both. Why would we go, watch this just in the joint? Okay, you can do it for a certain amount of time, but that's stressing my hip joints. Even this simple setup of Trikonasana is stressing my hip joints, whereas if I articulate at the disc and I roll, and then I come back around, huh, right? Huh.
When you
Right?
say come
It
back
doesn't
around-
look good, maybe not. Someone can come and say, it has to be wider, it has to be straight legs. But if I straighten my legs, now watch this. If I straighten my legs and I come into Trikonasana, or I straighten my legs and I take this buttock bone back, hamstring issue there, disintegration of force here. You know, there may be more I can do, but that's a problem. So instead, what I'll do, and the instructions that are quite simple, get them down. When they turn, they end up a little catty corner. When they turn back, turn them from the pit of the belly, plant them down again. Inhale, nice and light, somewhere up here, you've given something, lungs, heart, whatever. And then, this is the thing I always drive home. You've got to push down and away through that front leg. The rebound comes up through the front leg as you go. It travels through the hip joint, not into it, and then up to the head. Foot to head, right? Which is a glandular connection, but you bring it in anyway, even if they don't know, right? So then you're changing sides. Well, in changing sides, I'm going to roll again, right? I'm going to roll so that I don't hurt anything. Then I'm going to swing around from here, which isn't here, where I've just positionally changed something. I'm moving myself. And I'm opening, and because I may want to straighten my leg, but I can't get there from here with integration. So I'm going to get there by pushing into the earth as I come out and over. So the push remains. Watch me not push with my legs. You see the difference? Yeah. Then you come up, you got to yield down again, push, and come around it. So what are the simple instructions for that? Right? I'll give them to you. I'll tell you. Okay. Plant down, buttock bones. When you roll your right leg out and the left leg in, there is an articulation at the disc. They're the same bone, pubis and buttock bone. When you rotate, the disc has to articulate, and you roll the leg out as you scoop the buttock bone toward the right. That's left on me. Big toe. Ball. Not the heel. If I take my buttock bone to the heel, I'm going to be in my back body completely. Which isn't a bad thing if you want to be in your back body completely. But if you want to be in the center, you're going to have to go through the whole foot to get around it. And the buttock bone has to go to the front foot, diagonally through. The other danger is if it goes toward the heel, in the back body, you're also too much in the hamstring. Here, not here. Here, not here. Yeah? Do that? Did I make it simple yet?
No.